Hello, everyone. The City of Niagara Falls, as you've read in the paper the last few weeks, is pursuing the development of Centennial Park. Centennial Park is designed to be a year-round destination for residents and tourists. It would create jobs for local residents as we begin to try and develop a year-round hospitality industry. One of the things that we had hoped for in the creation of Centennial Park was that the property owner, Niagara Falls Redevelopment, would cooperate with the city in the development of the property where we believe Centennial Park should be. The location that we think is optimal for the park is at the corner of John B. Daly Boulevard and Falls Street, commonly known as 907 Falls Street. So currently, the area is a large vacant area. Grassy. There's been no development there in 25 years. As a matter of fact, as the Buffalo News pointed out, in the entire time that Niagara Falls Redevelopment has had the property, there have been many promises. 2005, they promised to build a $12 million hospitality, entertainment, and retail complex. They started out by tearing down a former city playground, a place where residents and families enjoyed entertainment and recreation. They tore it down, and what did they do? They put in a foundation and did nothing else. They fenced it off, ripped out the playground, and did nothing with the property. Then in 2014, they talked about building a 6,000 to 8,000 seat entertainment venue. It would be a year-round facility that would host concerts, sports events, and other shows. What's remarkable is that they said they wanted to do this in 2014, and now they fail and refuse to cooperate with the very plan that they had proposed some 8 years ago. Then again, in 2017, Niagara Falls Redevelopment proposed a hotel, a grand hotel and spa, to be built on another parcel that they own down on Rainbow Boulevard, commonly known as the Turtle. It was the former Native American Heritage Center for the Living Arts. So this is a company that over the course of the 25 years that it has had the property located in that area just south of Niagara Street, bordered by Niagara Street and John B. Daly Boulevard and Portage. For 25 years, they've made an awful lot of promises. They have proposed plans. They have gone about the business of shutting down a gymnasium on 13th Street, ripping out that playground like I suggested to you earlier, and have done nothing else to develop the property. The city has decided that, quite frankly, we can't wait any more time for them. As I said, the area is a large vacant green lot. It's directly east of the Seneca Niagara Resort. It's between Buffalo Avenue and Falls Street. It used to be known again as the 10th Street Park, and I can tell you that Centennial Park, the space is designed for entertainment, for family entertainment. We hope that once we're able to move forward with it, it'll be a venue that'll allow for concerts, outdoor movies and gatherings, sporting events, sledding, skating. The idea is to make this a park that's used in all 4 seasons, that helps to expand the hospitality industry to become year-round in terms of the jobs that are enjoyed in the hospitality industry. And we think that over time, Centennial Park ends up creating even more activity down in our downtown. The secret to building downtown is to once again get our residents, all of us, to again consider downtown as a place where we want to be. I know when I was growing up, downtown Niagara Falls was the place to go to, no matter where you were from in the city. It's lost that approach, or appeal rather, by people. And I think that in order for our city, our community, to grow, we need to bring back our downtown to something that appeals to all of us. I had several conversations with NFR principals, and we continue to talk with them about the opportunity to bring the Centennial Park to life on that parcel. And to be quite frank, their response to me has been nothing short of tone deaf. They have offered property, all of which they don't own. They've offered property that would put in jeopardy historic churches. They've offered property that would require the relocation of county services, all of which they have no control over, but wanted the city to bear the burden of negotiating. I can tell you that one of the things that they suggested to the city in our conversations was to take certain areas of property that they own, which also include homeowners, people who have their residence in the area. You know, I have two choices. The city can proceed with eminent domain proceedings against a 25-year corporate landholder who's done nothing, or we can do what NFR suggests, and we can commence eminent domain proceedings against homeowners. That doesn't make any sense to me, and I can assure you that this administration is never going to pursue removing residents from their homes in order to build a park. That goes against everything that this government stands for. I've had several conversations with my colleagues on the council. They agree with me that that's an absolutely outrageous suggestion. So instead, we have proposed to NFR other property in the city that the city owns that'll allow them to put up these concrete boxes in order to house the data center that they believe they propose rather that they want to build. All I can tell you is that eminent domain, which is a process whereby a government entity can take private property, is obviously not what I would prefer. I would prefer to have negotiated an agreement with NFR. We started talking, as a matter of fact, conversations about this Centennial Park and specifically about the elements of it goes as far back as February of 2021. The announcement was made publicly in October of 2021. And in March of this year, I believed we had an agreement with NFR. And then unfortunately, one of the principals arrived and decided that cooperating with the city was not something that he was interested in doing. And that's when he made this proposal for the city to take property, some of which NFR didn't own, and which included removing people from their homes. We held a public hearing 2 weeks ago in the city council chambers regarding eminent domain of that property. It's my intention to keep the eminent domain proceedings moving forward. I think it's the thing that keeps NFR on track to have conversations. It's not designed to cut off negotiations, but rather it's designed to keep those conversations going with a path forward. If we can't come to some agreement, as one of the speakers at the public hearing said, maybe there should be an arbitrator. Well, that's precisely what eminent domain does. Eminent domain puts in place the court to decide how the matter gets resolved. And so we think that the most prudent course of action to take is to pursue eminent domain while we continue to have conversations. In the public hearing, both the city and NFR, counsel for NFR, had a chance to present proposals to not only the city council, but to residents who were present. I can tell you that the proposal that NFR makes for the data center in that location fails for two reasons. First, the property that they're proposing to put the data center on is not zoned for that activity. So they can't even put the proposal that they're presenting on the property that they hope to present it to. And two, we've offered to NFR an alternative for their project while allowing the city's project to go forward on what we think is important property in the downtown district. So after 25 years, they now have this project, which they had a project in 2005 and they had a project in 2014 and they had a project in 2017, and none of those projects ever came to pass. And here we are in 2022, and lo and behold, they have another project. Suffice it to say that when confronted by council members with regard to the claims for jobs to be created and investment, their attorney and the principal for the data center company fumbled to explain the legitimacy of the numbers that they presented. So I can tell you that we're certainly focused on making sure that we can build this Centennial Park for the benefit of our residents, as well as for the benefit of guests who come to our city. One of the things that I can continue to underscore is that the city of Niagara Falls will never ask people to leave their homes. We'll never ask people to leave their homes for the benefit of building this park. NFR, on the other hand, NFR seems to think that people leaving their homes is irrelevant, that they can offer up other people's homes as an option when they don't want to give up vacant land that they've let sit there for 25 years. I think it's pretty clear that NFR's interests in developing this community are far different than the interests of this government, this administration, and this council. If in fact we are forced to go through the entire process for eminent domain, the other thing that I want to make sure people are aware is that NFR will talk about how this is going to take so long and it's going to be so expensive. Well, that's what the eminent domain laws is designed to prevent. It's designed to prevent these types of proceedings lasting forever. It's designed to make equity come into the process by having the court decide what's fair, what's reasonable. We think that if we can't enter into a fair and reasonable agreement with NFR, and quite frankly, over the course of the last several weeks, and the fact that they change facts as they move along, it's becoming more and more difficult to have a legitimate conversation with them, that if they don't want to negotiate it, then it's clear that we're going to need to get the court to help us. I can tell you that it's our intention to keep the eminent domain process going forward. The public hearing that we had is just the beginning. It doesn't mean that we're running to court next week or even next month. We have some additional work that we're doing to make sure that we're able to present all the facts at the conclusion of the public hearing, which is yet to be scheduled. And then once we have all of that in place, we will make an evaluation on whether or not we can come to an agreement with NFR. And if we can't, then we'll simply commence the official eminent domain process in court. And with that, we believe that we'll be successful in attaining the property and then go about the business of building this park and all the amenities that come with it for, again, for our residents and for our guests. We think that if NFR is really interested in bringing jobs and development to the community, then they'll get down to the table and negotiate with us for the other property that we're offering them, so that they can build their project in a location that is consistent with its use, and we'll be able to build a project in downtown that is consistent with the tourist downtown area, as well as to grow our hospitality industry. Keep your eyes open for further information. Once the next half of the public hearing is scheduled, we'll be getting out information. And if you'd like to hear more or know more, you're welcome to come down. We will also be providing updates on information as it comes available to us. But understand that eminent domain is not designed to be the only solution here. I've said over and over again that the reason why we're continuing to pursue eminent domain is just to keep the conversation on track. Hopefully NFR will become reasonable and will want to have a conversation that reasonably benefits the residents of the city of Niagara Falls, that they have failed to do for the last 25 years, as well as get their project built in a location that's consistent with the use. So I hope you'll join me in supporting our project at Centennial Park. I think that it's the right project for the city at this time. And I know that once we've exhausted our opportunities to negotiate with NFR, the process of eminent domain will certainly be successful for the city. So I ask you to please continue to be on the lookout for further information about Centennial Park. There's information about the park itself on our website. You can go there and you can take a look at the presentation that was made last October. And I think you'll agree with me that it's an exciting opportunity for the city of Niagara Falls. Thank you.